Hi everyone, it's Danielle Melanson, Beachbody Coach here for another tip of the day. And I want to talk about gluten and wheat. Just very quickly, I'm not going to get into it too much. I would recommend for anybody who has any major questions about it to do some research, Google, that's what I say to everything, Google or YouTube, and definitely take a look at the book called Wheat Belly. So some of us do have gluten allergies. It's called celiac disease. But then there's other people who are gluten intolerant, okay, or gluten sensitive. And what that basically means is gluten is an additive that they started putting in our food. There is parts of nature that it occurs in, but you know, they started adding gluten to food, especially breads and wheat products and stuff like that, to create more food, bigger food. And gluten's cheap, so it's a filler, okay? So if you notice, you know, Wonder Bread or Dempster's bread or whatever bread, doesn't matter, that you're getting on the shelf, it's full of preservatives as well, okay, and sugars and gluten and wheat. It's big and fluffy, and that's because there's lots of gluten in it. And then you'll look at a gluten-free bread or some sort of, you know, like Ezekiel bread is what I eat, and though it has wheat in it, but it's sprouted grain wheat, so it's the wheat that, you know, our great-grandparents used to eat. It's not this processed wheat. And they're small and compact. And it's because they're not full of gluten and the stuff that makes it poofy out, right? So what happens is, you know, food, people who make our food and companies, they add gluten and stuff to our food to make it bigger. And they can charge less for more food. Okay, so what happens is gluten, when it's inside your body, inside your intestinal tract, is an anti-inflammatory. It inflames, okay? It inflames your bowels. And it also kind of acts as, just as an example, like almost like a glue, like if you can envision Elmer's glue. So inside your bowels are these like cilia sort of membranes. And what happens is they're floating there and you absorb nutrients through every side of them. But when you eat gluten, they get glued down to your bowels like this. And so you're only going to absorb nutrients through here. So you're actually not even getting, you know, whatever nutrient food you have, dense food you have, isn't even getting into your bloodstream. It's not getting into your system through your bowels. Okay? And then it inflames. Okay? And everybody knows that, you know, we have to keep the inflammation out of our body. Okay? And a body that if there's inflammation around our organs and different things, it's just not a good environment. And it's, you know, it's where things and diseases like cancer and other diseases, especially bowel diseases, like to thrive. Okay, so that's just a little bit about why you should look for other alternatives. Okay, there's lots of different types of flours out there, coconut flours and rice flours and chickpea flour and all that sort of stuff. Because wheat and gluten, this is what happens with the processed wheat. Even whole wheat, you'll see, has white wheat in it as well. And it's just not the wheat that you know used to come from the earth. It's just processed and mass produced, and that's why a lot of people, you know, I like to say to stay away from gluten. And this doesn't mean go and get gluten-free crackers, gluten-free, you know, you'll find all these gluten-free cookies and all these, you know, those are for people who really have celiac disease and need a treat and have no alternative, okay? But you have to check. Gluten-free doesn't mean fat-free, doesn't mean chemical-free, because a lot of times these are still packaged goods full of chemicals. So be careful and be smart and read your labels. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. If it has more than 6 to 10 ingredients, don't eat it. It's really so super simple, okay? And you'll feel so much better. Trust me, you'll feel so much better. I hope that helped you today and answered a little bit of questions about gluten and what it does and what it is and wheat and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, check out that book, Wheat Belly. You're going to get a great education in it, and I hope this helped. If there's anything you want me to touch on or research for you, you can comment below and like this post if you got some valuable information out of it today. Have a great weekend, everyone.